300 Acting Spaces is basically the open source project which is open for musicians from all different stylistic angles, and there is not really a dogma on any style, so this is not especially for jazz musicians or rock or pop or whatever. It's really open, and we are inviting artists to come and join the sessions, the performances we do, and we're not only having a room in Sørenga in Oslo, but we're also streaming every event, so we live on air while the performance happens. And afterwards we send all the audio and video recordings in quite a high professional quality. We send it to our server and it's uploaded to YouTube and SoundCloud. And actually it's accessible, downloadable for everybody. So we are interested in building up a community around the music, around the performances we're doing. This is the main core of the project. And what's also relevant, if you come here and if you see the performances, we have a PA system all around in the room. So every musician who joins in has full responsibility of for the volume and for the sound. So the audience is sitting around the table and inside this circle of the PA, so everybody hears kind of the same, almost the same, the audience, the musicians. So there is a lot of responsibility during the performance process. And people are downloading it, so it's already people in the whole world are downloading the stuff and sending in remixes and using the material for non-commercial purposes. So yeah, we're trying basically to gain audience worldwide by opening to all the digital and multimedia channels. How can you deliver so much music and so much artistic output for free, and what is the whole point about copyright of the pictures, copyright of the music? Every musician who comes to 300 Acting Spaces and performs, he owns the copyright, and you're not even able to give the copyright away. So if we upload something and if we share it with the community, we don't even touch the copyright. It's just the right to use what the artist has created here in our surroundings. So it's more a matter of sharing. And as I said, we're also working with this Creative Commons license. That means every artist can decide, are we just uploading the stuff to SoundCloud, for example, and is there a possibility to download it? Is there a possibility to use it without mentioning the name of the artist, the creator of the original material? Can people use it commercially for their own mixes, for their own remixes, or not? Can they just download it or just listen to it, just use it, but not for commercial purposes? So there are all these possibilities. And one research part of this project is really interesting because the musicians who come in here, the project now runs for, I think, 7 weeks, and we already have such a variety of opinions, and musicians are reacting so differently to the circumstance that we actually uploading, and some get even mad about just the question of, yeah, let's put this on air and people can share it, and others just think it's a brilliant idea and they come in and they just want to share anyways. So it's the creation of this open archive is also from the standpoint of copyright really interesting project. And officially we're on the safe side because now we're working in Norway, from Norway, and we're collaborating with Tuno, which is something like the German GEMA. So that's actually the institution taking care of the copyright. The actual work and the idea for the project came 3 years ago, and I was thinking a lot because I produced many records, vinyls, and I did productions for a long time, and I was running my own studio in Germany, my own production company, and I did a lot. And even when I came to Norway a couple of years ago, I started working on different projects. But I had the feeling that I have to do something different. I don't want to do just another CD, just another band, and just go on tour and play in the same clubs where you actually get more money than 15 years ago, because the whole music business is changing so much. So I thought I have to do something related to what I'm doing anyways in the last 3 or 4 years. So since 2006 I got more involved into the improvised music scene, and I realized, wow, there's a great scene just coming together and doing short performances, maybe recorded, maybe not, but just do it for the room, for the audience, and break with a lot of rules. But of course, very soon I realized I have to create a frame, and that's why the project is called 300 Acting Spaces. I have to create acting spaces, so you see actually how we're breaking the rules. I mean, that's quite a basic law about breaking rules. You have to know the rules in order to break them. You have to see the rules so you realize, oh, someone is breaking them. So I came up with the idea of creating these 300 acting spaces, and I had help from several people actually coming up with the concept. And the first big issue was, how can I do it, where can I do it, how can I finance it, and what is the outcome at the end. And now, to make the long story short, now it's the case, if you go to the homepage 300as.com, you see all the sponsors and all these partners, and it's really amazing, unbelievable for me that we found partners for every part of the project. So we found SoundCloud, who gives us unlimited server space to upload the audio in multitrack. And I found the Norwegian State Academy of Music, where I'm also teaching, and they're supporting us with money. And I found the Norwegian Art Council, and they're supporting us. And there are many more institutions, and there are small companies like 3Q, the provider for the streaming. So all these small and big places and people are actually supporting the idea. And this is quite amazing. I think this was even before the project started, this was one big research outcome of the project, because this is definitely also a research project, that it is possible to do such a project and kind of gambling with the copyright and gambling with the technical setup and playing around with the audience and the amount of performances. I mean, we're doing 100 performances in 1 year in a city like Oslo, where 600,000 people live. This is kind of a strong artistic statement, because how many people will actually see and come to 100 performances? .300 Acting Spaces has this strong research side, and that's why we also got support by the Norwegian State Academy of Music, as I said, and all these other state institutions here in Norway. And I must also say that, of course, to start this project in Norway is very special for me. I live here and I really love the Norwegian scene, and there is this almost unlimited source of all these great performers and all these great improvisers here in Norway. And from here, from Oslo, hopefully the project will continue and go on and do a similar setup in Berlin, in New York, Beijing and Tokyo. This is the concept for now, but maybe we find even different places. And we're doing a lot of research on the technical side of the project. The streaming works more or less fine now, and the whole streaming setup with all 6 cameras and all video mix and everything goes in more or less one suitcase. So all we need to go somewhere else with 300 acting spaces and invite local musicians is a few flight cases with the equipment, a room and a fast internet connection. And then the project can run wherever we want it to run. And the question for how to create the open source and how to create the community, when you look at the whole setup of the project, it starts in Oslo and then it moves on to different places. Of course, there's a strong focus on the local scene, or I would say on the national scene. For example, here in Norway, we invite mostly Norwegian musicians. But we have the spots in the project. For example, the first half of the year 2012 is reserved more or less for the Norwegians, and it will happen in this room here. But then in September we will open up, we will have a relaunch of the project, and then we will open up, we will get some separate rooms from Sørenga Utvikling, which is the sponsor for this room, one of our partners, and we will open up and get more rooms and access to different places in this whole surrounding here. And then we will invite some more international guests who will actually put some focus on the next locations, on the next countries where we're going to. And then it will be basically probably the same setup. Let's say we go to Berlin next, then we will work a lot with German improvisers, electronic musicians from all different angles, and then open up towards the next location. So almost everything in this project is improvised, and we're also improvising. It's not clear now where, how and when we really go to the next place, but we go with the flow in this.